to play really is much more of a psychological thing than a physical thing, really speaking. How much does mind affect or tells about your playing? A lot. Because if you don't control your mind, mind will block you. So it doesn't matter how good fingers you have. You have very great fingers, the technique, but if the mind, if you play in fear or insecure because you don't have command of the stuff you practice, or because also like Paco was very worried, concerned about mistakes, etc., overly worried, all these aspects are just on the realm of the psychological stream. So therefore, I do believe that the psychological aspect of playing has to be addressed. Some people say, man, you talk too much. It may be true, but this, what we discussed here, like in this series and the question and answer series, are very important things, right? Like someone asked how to not be lazy to practice. This is a good question. It's not a foolish thing. And now don't say, yeah, I know it. Well, how good are you at it? And not being lazy. Do you practice regularly, properly? So these things here matter, of course matter. The solution what's the solution to avoid laziness, to practice? This is a mental thing. It's not. Solution is to be lazy for laziness, right? But this is all here. It's not about the fingers. Even Paco said, one does not play with the fingers. You play with your brain, if you have one, he said. And then after that, once you conquer that, then you can forget about the brain and play with the heart. So, more clear than this, the psychological aspect is important. Why you play? You play because you love it like a material people. This is the ideal thing for me. I also try to emulate that. Or do you play because you want the approval of others? Or because your uncle likes music and that way you please him. He will inherit you something. Who knows? Many reasons. One guy came and said, I want to learn guitar because guitar players have good luck with girls. This is what I want. Girls love guitar players and I want to learn because of this. I said, wow. First I thought it was a joke, but then I saw it was serious. So I said, you know, congratulations, man. At least you know what you want from guitar, right? Or others maybe will want to play to compete with their fellows or even with family members in family of musicians. It was a very big issue. I don't want to say many things about these specifics, but you know, one time, because a long time ago, and I was a child, and Paco was there. And someone was doing a toast, and then I remember I said to the genius or something like this, and then do the toast with Paco, and Ramon de Algeciras, his brother, said to the genius, salute, cheers, and then and me what? I taught him from the beginning. He was a child, and I teach him, and you know, he was a bit envious of this respect given to his brother. So anything that is psychological affects their competitivity. Who knows what will be there? There's a mental problem there causing you disturbances or just chronic insatisfaction, and then everything you play you're thinking, oh, this sucks, this is wrong, this is that, and judging all that when you're playing. Bad idea. So yeah, the psychological aspect, it is very important and it has to be addressed. Because if you know your mind, suppose the mind tells you, I don't want to practice, and now you just don't listen and do it, and let's see. Because actual freedom you get when you can control your mind. You don't get freedom by following the commands of the mind. Tells you, watch the TV, don't play. And now you do that, and you say, yeah, I do because I'm free. You know, no, you're not. You're a slave of your mind, because the mind is telling you what to do, and you don't have command to impose there some discipline to get to the attainment of your own goals, right? So mind and how to handle the mind, this is something that Only Kenny Werner, by the way, I recommend totally his method of effortless mastery. And I will post the description of this video, the link, because this is extraordinary, and this is totally a psychological thing, which is how to unblock when you perform. You can play the best way you can play. Nothing unnatural will happen or miraculously, but how you can play at your best not always happens. And this is because of the mind. How you will unblock your mind to let you play at your best. Great proposal. So this is all psychological. Yeah, I agree. This has to be discussions about this and people asking seriously these questions. And now that you are listening this, don't say, yeah, I know it, but my question is how good you are at it. And then this is because that is the thing. That's another trick of the mind, to not take what will make you improve. To say, yeah, I know this, I know that. Boredom, this is another problem. People is bored to death, and then sometimes maybe they start playing and get bored. Why? Maybe the material they are doing is not very interesting. Maybe they have the wrong teacher, probably. Or maybe they are not practicing properly, or maybe they are practicing, suppose someone wants to play rock jazz, and he's practicing Beethoven all day. Then, of course, he's going against his nature. So Chick Corea said some very nice advices about that. He said, you have to first know what you want, and then decide based on that. You decide based on what you want. Don't listen what they always say. You should play this, you should play the Chacon, you should play Mozart, you should play that. Wait a moment. It's cool you tell me, but let me see. Let me really think deeply myself. And people don't know how to stay alone, to listen to your own mind or listen to your thoughts. You have to be silent, meaning not with 3 televisions on, or too many people talking to you, and then you cannot really get inside and think, well, do I really want this or not? So at some point, all these questions, and this is all purely psychological, which affects your performance, your music. So how important is that? I don't know if saying 50-50, but it may be more, because the mind can get you improving, or it can sink you into jobs. And also in being stuck in one level. Why people get stuck? They don't advance. They don't even know if they're advancing. So, but suppose someone notices, man, the picado I played, same like last year, same like 3 years ago, same like this. Some people write me emails. Often, every week, I receive 10 or 15 of these questions, like, I noticed now the last 4 years I'm playing same. Well, good for you that you are aware of it. So now you want to fix it, so what do you want to learn? And then they start to move above this problem, right? But first, this was a psychological problem. Right? The last thing I want to say is an anecdote of a friend from Cadiz, and because there is this paranoia about, as a business actually, to make people believe that the injuries will happen in the hand anyway, and practically speaking they say, do you blink the eyes, then you will have an injury. Do you play instrument, you will have an injury for sure, you will have focal dystonia, you will have this, you will have that, and then they sell this stuff, right? Making people believe that they will get an injury. It's not true. I never got an injury, and Paco didn't get an injury whole life, in 60 years playing. So Chick Corea either, and has 78 or 88 years old. So what is this interesting? It's not true that everyone will get this because musicians. So, in fact, some doctors who are my students, I asked them personally, and they said this focal dystonia, for instance, is rare. That this happens once in a million. This is what they are saying, because I told them there are plenty of websites saying everyone has it. You also have it, and you will have it. Like that. No, I don't accept this negativity. I understand objectively if there is a problem, you have to address it. But that I like to be diseased, wait, I don't like this thing. But apparently some people likes that. So this is also a psychological problem. But this guy, anyway, the thing is that this friend, it was a good friend long time ago, and he started imagining I have an injury because actually The problem was his father was against him playing guitar. And the father aspired that this guy will take care of his business. This was there. Right? So, of course, he knew it, but then he created, kind of with the mind created danger a bit, because I noticed some problems there with endings like that. So he created this thing a bit, and then, but it was not very bad. In fact, we went to a common doctor that we know and trust perfectly well. And he said, yeah, take this, do that, do this exercise like that, nothing will happen. Then he said, I want a second opinion, I want a third opinion, I want a fourth opinion. Then he go to other people, other doctors who said, you have to do surgery. And then apparently he was in one side worried and another liking this thing. I said, don't do it, this. Juan, don't do this thing. And it was about the tendons inside, some very complex surgery, costly and also risky. And I said, don't do it. Why you want to do that? You will risk your plane, man. What if something goes wrong? So he didn't listen to me, and then he went to the surgery. Then happened one of the greatest stupid things happening, that the doctors tried another, he wanted to fix the index, and then they ended up fixing the ring finger, or something outrageous happened that way. And then they said, well, we are sorry, we fixed the other finger, we got a mistake. And I said, but what is this thing? Shoot these people, so it was just crazy. And then he said, well, they said that they can do another surgery for free. He said, man, don't do this thing, man, what are you doing? And then he said, well, I have to do it, I have no remedy not to. So anyway, the thing is, he did it, and now finally so-called got fixed this. And then at the end of the year, or I think the year after, he couldn't play anymore. He had really now a problem, which is what I was thinking will happen. That's why I advised him to not do surgery. If surgeries, in my opinion, if you can avoid, better do it. So this guy didn't do, Paco traversed with his hand, right hand with a coral rift a long time ago. And one of the shamans there, like National Geographic people, fixed it in a Sunday in Colombia, in a beach on Sunday night that was 3 hours from the hospital, etc. And nothing happened. Paco said, I fear this is the end of my career. And he recovered. Why? Because positivity in the mind and thinking, I am okay, I will get better. Not, I have focal dystonia, I have this, I have an injury, I have tendons, I have tendonitis, I have elbow of tennis player, I don't know what. This is millions of people there selling these things there out. Some are true, of course, but not everyone. And this thing that everyone will get, certainly, I cannot believe it. So anyway, this guy damaged his hand a lot. And then now that he really could not play anymore, or now he was reduced to half of what he can do, apparently forever, because the physician said, well, this is irreparable damage and we cannot fix it. So I said, man, I told you to not do it. And then he said, well, yeah, you are right, but you know what, now my actually it has a good side, because my father is very happy now. I said, wow, this is what it is. So actually I said, well, Juan, don't you see that actually what you created this problem all the way to please your father, actually. It was easy to say, I will go to the business and I don't play guitar, and now create the circumstance so that you are justified to do it. Man, what are you saying? And he said, no, this was not the thing. Because of course it was unconscious. I do believe that it was the reason. I'm not God to know it, but because this was, the development of things was pointing towards that conclusion. So, and what was that? And he was an excellent player. And what was that? A psychological aspect. So how did his mind affect his playing? Totally. Don't worry, this thing, of course, is true. So that's why we discussed so many things about the playing, the practice, and psychological aspects. Because it's not all about playing. Actually, playing is the less important part. But to create a proper positive mindset to advance in music and know yourself and know your mind and how this affects is all important. So therefore I do encourage you to think deeply about this and think try, and you will see how beneficial it is to examine all these points.
me noto que descubrí ahí la improvisación. La improvisación es algo que yo pienso que cada músico del estilo que sea, del clásico, del flamenco, de cualquier otra música, debería aprender, porque en la improvisación te da mucha libertad y a la vez te da mucho conocimiento de dónde estás tocando, de cómo estás tocando, de qué armonías están en cada momento, ¿no?
Pablo. Sí, Paco, ¿qué es para usted la música popular y qué es la música elitista?
Yo creo que la música elitista es el refinamiento de la música popular. Por ejemplo, el flamenco. El flamenco originalmente es una música popular, la música del pueblo de Andalucía. Pero creo que ya no le pertenece más al pueblo, porque de pronto habemos gente que nos hemos pasado toda una vida encerrados, puliendo esa expresión popular. Entonces ha llegado a un nivel en el que el pueblo ya no tiene esencia, sobre todo a los matices que vamos consiguiendo la gente como yo, que nos pasamos muchas horas elaborando esa música.